Good morning, families, staff, and graduates, and welcome to the Sunday morning graduation session of the Wayland High School class of 2020. My name is Kevin Wang, and I am pleased to have been offered the opportunity to welcome all of you to today's ceremony. This day will be special, closing our collective chapters in Wayland, but also starting new ones, where we will go on to do amazing things, whether it be in sports, law, art, music, or industry. It marks the moment where we finally leave the nest that our parents and guardians have gifted us, and we go out to build our own. I would like to thank everyone for joining me and my classmates today in this celebration, and extend particular thanks toward Ms. Mizuguchi, Mr. Krasnu, and the rest of the organizers for doing such a wonderful job of making this whole thing possible. It means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to everyone here, that we are able to celebrate this achievement this summer with our peers here together outside. You have many excellent speeches and performances to look forward to from our talented class members. As such, it is my pleasure to begin our ceremony by introducing Zoe Hughes, who will be performing the national anthem on the ukulele. In keeping with the school's health and safety protocols, we ask they refrain from singing along. Please rise for the performance of our national anthem.
Okay. What I'm about to sing hopefully represents a future America where Black Lives Matter. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Zoe, for that incredibly beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and thank you, Kevin, for welcoming all of us to this very special morning. Thank you for joining us on this glorious graduation day morning, and welcome to the new Wayland High School Stadium, which was completed just weeks ago and just in time to provide an appropriate and stunning backdrop to celebrating the great class of 2020. Several months ago, in the midst of our school closure, Ms. Cole, Mr. Krasnew, and I had a series of conversations with the senior class executive board about graduation. At that point, our options for celebrating the class seemed quite bleak. We were looking at planning a drive-through ceremony, maybe renting out a drive-in movie theater, or even postponing a traditional graduation ceremony for sometime next year. But in June, we learned that the state guidance was shifting and smaller in-person ceremonies would be possible. To our students, no celebration would be complete unless they were in the company of their peers and their family in a new stadium, wearing a cap and gown, with a stage to cross and a diploma to receive. This morning, scores of emails and spreadsheets and diagrams and Google Docs later, along with a tape measure and your partnership and collaboration, we are here to celebrate the great class of 2020 with joy and pride. It's pretty fantastic. We also know that we are celebrating in the midst of a global pandemic, and we want to celebrate our graduates, but we also want to keep each other and our community safe. So in collaboration with the Board of Health and other town agencies, we have developed the safety protocols that appear in your program insert. I ask you to review them if you haven't already, including our priority expectations of please staying within your pod during this ceremony unless there is an emergency. Please remain socially distant from one another, especially those who are not in your family group. And please wear a mask at all times, unless you are a graduate receiving your diploma, in which case you are welcome to take your mask off if you feel comfortable on the stage, and another photo opportunity after you leave the stage. I know that it is hot, I know that it is sweltering, but we are here because we have a promise to one another to keep each other safe, so I do appreciate your following those guidelines. It is now my pleasure to turn over the microphone to Jeannie Downs, our school committee chair.
Thank you, Allison. Take this off. Thank you, Allison. Well, on behalf of the school committee, welcome graduates and families. It is so nice to be here. Who would have thought on March 1st that we would have had a global pandemic this spring that would have shut down everything, changed graduation to mid-July, and in 4 ceremonies? Certainly I didn't. This in-person graduation took a lot of planning, and I can't thank enough Ms. Mizuguchi, Ms. Cole, Mr. Krasnu, and the countless others who helped make this possible. Thank you. Graduates, it's been quite a year, one you will definitely never forget. You've shown grit and determination through it all. I've watched many of you grow up, and I've been constantly impressed as you stand up for what you believe in and act on it. Whether it's the walkout in support of the Parkland students who were killed and against gun violence, advocating at school committee for decisions affecting you and your fellow classmates, joining the Black Lives Matter vigils, or sharing your voice on the BIPOC Instagram, you're taking action. Your generation has an incredible opportunity to continue taking action and make a true difference in our world. Civil rights leader and Congressman John Lewis once said, "When you see evil, see something not fair, not right, not just, you have a moral obligation to say something." My hope for you is that you will continue to fight for what's right and to do it with grace, compassion, and kindness. We live in a time where the political discord in our country is divisive. It's all of you who can help bring us together. You'll stumble along the way, as we all do at various times in our lives, particularly when we step out of our comfort zone. But don't let that stop you. Learn from it and press on. It's really the only way to change the world. If we all show a little grace to others, compassion for others, and kindness in all we do, we will make the world a better place. I'll leave you with some words from the U2 song Grace, which particularly struck me when I first heard them. Because grace makes beauty out of ugly things, grace finds beauty in everything. Grace finds goodness in everything. Class of 2020, congratulations. Best of luck with this new chapter of your life. I can't wait to hear what you all do. Thank you. And now I am going to introduce our student speaker, Michaela Mathis.
Good morning, friends, family, faculty, guests, and most importantly, graduates. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Michaela Mathis, and I am beyond grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all today. After everything that has happened this year, I never thought this moment would come. Being here together as a class and experiencing this milestone in life is a moment I've dreamt of for a long time. I've spent years thinking about walking across this stage with my classmates and the feeling past graduates have gotten from getting a diploma. Today is the day we will all get to experience this. After today, we will all get to leave here and become a Wayland alum. When the cancellation of school was announced, I was for sure thought this day would never happen. But here we are. It is still unsettling to me that we did not get to experience our last couple of months together and celebrate our well-deserved senior spring. Instead, we finished our year with online Zoom classes, technical difficulties, and goodbyes to teachers and peers from a distance. During quarantine, I've had a lot of time to think about my time here at Wayland, which hasn't always been easy. I remember the day I finally felt accepted. I remember being really sick in elementary school and ended up having to miss a little school here and there. One day, I had one of my doctors make a presentation to my homeroom class to explain to the rest of my peers why I'd be missing school. After that day at Happy Hollow, I remember feeling a sense of family in my 5th grade classroom. This is when I knew Wayland was becoming a second home to me. We all went through the good old days of elementary school, where the only drama was over which school was better, Happy Hollow or Clay Pit. Then we transitioned to the rough days of middle school. People were changing lunch tables in friend groups like it was a new pair of underwear. Girls cried in the bathroom over losing friends, and boys cried in the bathroom because they didn't make the basketball team. Now, before I talk to you about the last 4 years of high school, I want to give you an insight on how being a MECO student in elementary and middle school was for me. At Happy Hollow, I remember trying to be friends with everyone. I didn't realize I was a little brown girl because everything seemed so easy. Happy Hollow helped me meet my best friend for life, and I am forever grateful for the best elementary school in Wayland. Middle school became a challenge because most of those friendships I thought I made in elementary school soon realized weren't real friendships. Middle school is where I learned the definition of cliques. I'm sure you can imagine the looks you'd get trying to switch lunch tables. Now, when I think about it, I don't think people were trying to be mean, but I definitely learned that the saying is true. People are scared of new things. Middle school Michaela did not understand this, but the Michaela standing in front of you today does. I found myself doing what was mostly expected of me, going to sit at the table of brown and black kids. We sat together because we felt comfortable. We knew we were all going through the same internal battles. If I got invited to sit at another table, I would jump at the opportunity to experience something new. Sometimes I felt more welcome than others because, to me, it was always about getting people to like me. As middle school went on, I found guidance in my older cousin Jania, who was a couple years older than me here at Wayland. She taught me that you may always be a minority in a classroom, but self-worth and strength is the most important thing you can have as a brown girl in Wayland. I watched her go through high school with such poise, grace, and honor, and she's always stayed true to herself, which is something I strive to do every day. To this day, she is still someone I deeply admire because of our similar experiences. Class of 2020, class of babies from 2000, 2001, and 2002. We started high school together in 2016, and today we end our journey in 2020. If you told me freshman year that I'd be the person I am today, having been through a journey like this, I would tell you you're crazy. We thought middle school was rough. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into in high school. If I do have to say one thing about this class, it's that we stressed a lot. Freshman year was the year we stressed about getting good grades all the time, not being that freshman in the hallway, and trying to make any sports team possible. Sophomore year, we stressed about PSATs, MCAS, and being known. Junior year was SATs, thinking about college plans, and more sports. Senior year was college, and more college. Sometimes I wish I can give our whole grade a chill pill. High school has been where I found my truest self. We have all lost and gained some friends, failed some tests, lost and won some games, and did a lot of homework. Nonetheless, we have made it to one of the many finish lines in our life. Since 2020 began, we have been set on making it the best year ever. Instead, we got intercepted by wildfires in Australia and California, the death of basketball legend Kobe Bryant, murder hornets, the death of George Floyd, along with that, a rise in the support of the Black Lives Matter movement. And on top of that, a global pandemic that has caused a worldwide quarantine. This year in general has changed a lot of us for the better. We have all learned about ourselves, what we want to do with our lives. With all that is happening, we must ask ourselves what we will contribute to the world with our activism, because our voices are the future. We must stand up for what we believe in and make sure our world is what we want it to be. I have learned that my voice should be used to spark change and spread positivity, not hate. Fighting for injustice shouldn't be something that is foreign to us. We are all blessed and privileged to be here today, and I hope that with all that is happening around us today, that I hope you can see that. The activism that has changed and happened in this community recently is refreshing. I love to see that a place I consider a second home cares about me and other people of color. I know for the past couple years it's not been easy. We have all been through trials and tribulations of life where we will have to go through difficult times while maintaining our education. Every day I think about the allies and friends I've made here at Wayland, the families that have welcomed me with open arms into their homes when I needed somewhere to stay. I thank all of you for contributing to my experience. And I'm happy to say that I've definitely made some lifelong friends here at Wayland. Wayland has taught me how to be around people of all different backgrounds, religions, political beliefs, and sexual orientations, and I'm grateful to be able to go out into the world with this experience. This school has given me hope that I will live in a world with no hate one day. I'm grateful to have met my MECO family who have taught me a lot through the years. I just want to say one big thank you to everyone who has made my life here at Wayland possible. I honestly wouldn't have the strength I have today without my family and friends. I would also like to take time to thank the faculty here at Wayland who have made a difference in my life and lives of other students. We all have a reason why today is very special to us. I want you all to keep in mind as you walk across this stage today. We are the future. The opportunities that we have are endless. As long as we put our mind to it, we can be very successful. As Oprah Winfrey said, education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. We are a class of future congressmen and women, doctors, teachers, lawyers, scientists, engineers, developers, architects, and activists. I know society isn't ready for us and the changes we are going to make, but we have to remain motivated because there are going to be people left and right telling us that we can. The past 12 years in MECO at Wayland Public Schools in a small town just 45 minutes outside of Boston has changed my life. It is bittersweet to say goodbye to football games, pep rallies, winter week, study halls, freeze, the media center, spirit weeks, and last but not least, window. We have all completed our first major chapter in life, and I can't wait to see all the accomplishments we have waiting for us in the next stages of life. No matter what your next steps are for the rest of your life, I want everyone to put 1,000% effort in everything you do, no matter how hard it gets. I want you to remember that someone in the world always has it worse. This year has definitely been an example of a minor setback for a major comeback. Not going to lie, Wayland has definitely tested me as a woman of color and as a student, but I am proud to say that I've come out this experience a completely different person. Class of 2020, this is not goodbye at all. Think of it as a see you soon. I love the person I have become, the people I have met, and FYI, our senior show would have been the best show you've ever seen. Congratulations, class of 2020, we made it. It is my pleasure to present Simon Fidlin, and he'll be performing something with his violin.
All right. Hi, everyone. Certainly a little strange to be here today, but I'm happy to see you all. Now, the song I will be performing is a song that I wrote towards the beginning of quarantine. I was going through some personal challenges, and life wasn't easy. This song, it may be a little sad, but there's one thing that I find important about it, and that is it's hopeful. It's okay to be sad sometimes. And this is a really strange time in our lives, but we must continue to move forward. All right, without further ado, this is Migration by yours truly. Can't let it go, slowly I've been giving up hope, can't keep afloat, drowning in the river that flows. When your life has flashed before your eyes, it ain't hard to sympathize. It's like I spy with my golden eye. The other side, now I ain't outside. Sat on my back as I look at the crash and the broken glass. I see it again with my sis and the way it went home. And I woke up to the same old voice. She twisted the knife and plunged it deep. I can't escape what she done to me. My hand on her face and I'm too deep, too deep, too deep. Why did this happen to me? Too deep, too deep. Oh well, I'll get myself back on my feet. Congrats, class of 2020.
Can we have another round of applause for Simon and for Michaela, who exemplify this class so beautifully? Thank you. So this morning, my role is to present you, the class of 2020, to our superintendent, Dr. Unowski, and to promise and to certify that all of you have done what it takes to rightfully earn your Wayland High School diploma. I am pleased to say that not only has each of you completed the requirements for a diploma, but you have enriched Wayland High School with your presence. You have been resilient, spirited, and talented, facing unprecedented challenge and disappointment with mind-boggling maturity and grace. We have each been inspired by the strength with which you faced not only the end of your senior year, but also how you face your futures now. It is easy to let the last 12 weeks of your senior year overshadow the other 148 weeks of your high school career. It may be easy to forget that the end of your senior year was but one page in the much larger book of a bright, successful educational journey at Wayland High School, one corner of the canvas of a masterpiece. The class of 2020 has been an impressive and cohesive group of leaders, artists, athletes, scholars, activists, peacemakers, thinkers, and friends. You are curious, hardworking students who want to learn about and question the world around you. You have captained winning athletic teams. You have led our impressive and award-winning journalism program, debate team, mock trial team. You have learned languages, solved problems, created art. You have danced and sung and acted on stage. You have brought music to our lives. You have questioned authority, but with respect, and you have eloquently asserted your opinions on the important issues of our time, such as women's rights, environmentalism, gun control, institutional racism, and the role of a free press in democracy. You have spent the last 4 years elevating and strengthening our community with your passion, with your drive, with your great care and kindness, and we thank you for it. As you arrived here today, you drove by the Senior Rock, which this year has been painted a beautiful orange and black cityscape with your motto, Visionary, painted upon it. Beyond a cute reference to the number 2020, the word visionary gives me a quick chance to reflect on who you have been as a class and who you will be as individuals as you leave this place. A visionary is not someone who knows the future or predicts the future. No one can do that. But rather, a visionary imagines the best version of the future that is most innovative, most imaginative, the ideal version of our current reality. When you think about visionary leaders, artists, visionary scientists, and writers, they are the ones who saw something that few others did. Not only did they see it, but they made it happen. And when we think about the visionaries of our time, and we are living among them, they often had to fight for their vision of the future. They had to engage in battle to get there. But that wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was seeing the goodness to begin with and believing that the future held something better. Given the strange and scary world that we are living in right now, full of threat and indeterminacy, it takes the very best of us to remain visionaries, to see the other side of a pandemic, of racial injustice, of equal rights for all, of the many complex issues that plague us now. But I know, class of 2020, that you will lead us there. What you have shown us the last 4 years in your capacity for curiosity, hard work, goodness, and joy is that you are incredible individuals. But what you have shown us the last 3 months in your capacity for resilience, strength, and hope is that you are visionaries. You see the best in the world, and I am confident that you will help take us there. Dr. Unopsky, it is my honor to present the class of 2020 to you. I attest that these students have successfully completed all of the requirements for a Wayland High School diploma. Moreover, through their accomplishments and spirit and service, they have collectively and indelibly enriched our school community. Thank you, class of 2020, and congratulations.
Good morning. It is a tremendous pleasure to share this moment with our class of 2020. their parents, their families, school committee, and I want to thank in particular the administration and teachers who've worked so hard to make this event happen. I'd like to talk to you today about how I imagine you're feeling right now. I have a little bit of insight into what that might be, both from your parents and your perspective, because I've had the privilege the last few months of having my son, who just graduated from college, home for the last 4 months. And it has been a great pleasure for me. For me, chatting at dinner about what he's thinking about, throwing the baseball again in the yard. For me, it has been wonderful. For him, maybe not so much. He has probably wished we could have a little more social distancing in our house from his father. When I think about you, though, I don't just think about this sense of maybe you have a little bit of claustrophobia. But for the class of 2020, you remind me of a quote from one of my favorite TV shows, Friday Night Lights, where the coach would say before a big game, "Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose." When I remember sitting across from you or hearing from you about your concerns about a change in start time, about a wish to walk out of your normal schedule because of shootings in Parkland, I'm remembered about how you brought together both the emotion and the heart, the fullness of your hearts, and the strength of your ideas, your clear eyes, over and over again. I'm also reminded that your clear eyes and your full heart come through in more spontaneous ways. The smiles and uproarious enthusiasm at our rolling rallies that took place here in Wayland and in Boston, and how wonderful they were. And this ceremony, where I see those brave souls willing to risk their lives with their very high heels in this rubber turf. I'm very impressed. Ultimately, you should feel a sense, in addition to what I described as maybe a little claustrophobia, a sense of satisfaction. You have accomplished a tremendous amount, and your strength, the wisdom that you bring, the generosity of spirit that you bring to the table in your clarity and your fullness will not only serve us well, but ultimately when we get to the other side of this COVID-19, which may take a while, ultimately you will have the gift of having cemented incredibly close bonds and shared an incredibly challenging experience with your classmates. And as Michaela alluded to earlier, that is something you can not only have pride in, but know that other classes will envy, because you are unique and have developed a unique closeness. So I have no doubt that you will make this world a better place over the next number of years, but I also know that you will find these connections deeply satisfying. Thank you so much for all that you've done over these past 13 years, and congratulations to the class of 2020. And now, Dr. Mizuguchi, it is time for the presentation of the diplomas.
All right, everybody. So, graduates, here is how this process is going to work. We're going to start on this side, and Ms. Cole will sort of beckon you to stand and head toward the stage with your masks on, please, and social distance. When I call your name, please head onto the stage. Again, feel free, if you're comfortable, to remove your mask. We have a photographer in front of the stage, as well as beyond the stage at another photography station. And then you will turn and return to your row through the middle aisle. Okay? Simon Graham Fidlin. Zoe Susanna Saski Hughes. Michaela Mathis. Kevin Wang. Isabella Arenas Escobar. KL Kevin Bonds. Jack Butts. Samuel Edward Cahaley. Angela Chu. Aiden Dev Chitkara. Allison Michelle Christian. George Miller Clark V. Julia Cleary. What's that, G? Okay. Paul Curtin. Leonard Joseph DiCarlo II. Andrew Dudow. Amira Kate English. Tamira Kate English. Noelle Camille Flanagan. Karan Freeman. Michaela George. Frankie Gonzalez. Alexander Howard. Alexandra Nicole Kennedy. Philip Tabor Coachling. Michelle Lee. Kyle James Mabe. William Michael Medeiros. Jack Dean Melvin. Colin Metler. Edward James Mulhern III. Dravin Nangalingam. Talia Nicholas. Serena Patel. Alyssa Perez. Haley Robinson. Gabriella Simone Rossler. Kyra Singh. Conrad Witten Span. John Hobson Stafford. Matthew Stenery. Jessica Riley. Ava Tang. Christina Taxiarchis. Samuel Edward Thurman. Hey, Judy. them go back the middle way? Arthur's not doing his job. He needs to send people back that way. Dylan Grant Tompkins. Riku Wei. Michael Anthony Wegerbauer. Nathan Julius Weinstein Molloy. Jenna Rachel Wilkinson. Tristan Logan Wolf. Joyce Wu. Sabrina Xie. Anthony Schrey. How are we doing, graduates? Feel good? It is the end of July. You have a Wayland High School diploma. Fabulous job, and we're so excited to celebrate this proud moment with you and your families. So there is a tradition, I don't know where it comes from, but the symbolism of your tassel. We need to do one last thing before you're officially graduates. So if all graduates would please rise and move the tassel from the right to the left. And you are now officially graduated. We are so very proud of you. This is an incredible and exciting moment for all of us to share with you. Imagine in your head that you're tossing your hats up in the air and able to mingle, and that is something we're not able to do, but in your minds have that picture, and we are going to play Anchors Away while you depart. I will actually dismiss folks by row and pod, so I know it's hot. We'll do this as comfortably as we are able to. Before we depart, I want to thank you again for coming. There are so many factors that made this complicated, and I appreciate your being here with us. It adds so much emotional joy to all of us as well. I want to thank our staff for joining us, in particular Mr. Krasnu and Ms. Golden, who are running the show behind here, making sure everybody got the right diploma. Thank you. Ms. Pickett, Mr. Froberg, there were other staff members here as well. Thank you for being here. So at this point, I'd like for families on my left, on your right, in the front row, when you're comfortable, if you can rise and depart, and I will continue calling the rows in that manner, okay? So on my left, front row, can depart through the exit that you entered from. Thank you again, everybody. Second row on my left, when you are comfortable, you may rise and make your way to the exit. Thank you. The third row on my left, when you are comfortable, you may make your way to the exit. On my left, when you're comfortable, you may make your way to the exit. Thank you. And the fifth row on my left, when you're comfortable, you may find your way to the exit too. Thank you. Row on my left. Thank you for coming, and you may make your way to the exit when you're comfortable. On my right, the first row may begin to exit. Thank you. The second row, when you're comfortable, you may exit as well. And the third row on my right, you may exit as well. Thank you. The fourth row on my right, you may exit. Thank you so much for coming. The fifth and sixth row on my right, you may feel free to exit. Thank you.